Our city is ready. Everything from coffee shops to churches, once again filled with art from around the world. It's been 3 years, more than 1,000 days, but tonight we can finally say ArtPrize is back.
This is News 8 from Wood TV, live from the Media Arts Center in downtown Grand Rapids. For a special broadcast, ArtPrize is back.
Thanks for joining us for a special edition of The 7, everyone. I'm Michelle DeSelms. Wood TV 8 is once again honored to be the official broadcast media partner of ArtPrize. We are back in our downtown studio, giving you inside access as West Michigan's biggest annual event finally returns. Ahead tonight, we're going to show you where to find art this year. Some old favorites aren't hosting, but new venues have joined in. And preparing for your return downtown, from scooters to buses to construction, we're going to help make sure your trip to ArtPrize goes smoothly. And no more voting. Instead, you will award prizes throughout the competition. You can also buy the art that you love. We're going to walk you through all the changes tonight. This week marks the return of an unprecedented experiment, and we really don't know what's going to happen. It's a feeling that we haven't had since ArtPrize was first announced 12 years ago.
What if a community turned its buildings and its river and its streets into hundreds or thousands of galleries that the world could come and set art in?
April 23rd, 2009, a bold announcement hoping to change the game.
I bet you it's going to cause a stir and put Grand Rapids on the map.
Cause a stir it did. The first ArtPrize brought tens of thousands downtown, forcing streets to be shut down.
I love it. I wished it was like this all the time. I feel like I'm in Chicago or New York.
Art packed nearly every building. Paper planes filled the skies. Restaurants were overwhelmed.
About 2 hours ago, we ran out of food.
ArtPrize was an overwhelming success, but not everyone was happy.
First place, Rand Ortner with Open Water 24.
While Rand Ortner's grand prize winning Open Water number 24 was universally praised, the art elite mocked the other top 10 finalists like a giant monster in the river and a big table and chairs on the Blue Bridge. ArtPrize was determined to demand respect. Juried awards were added. Experts were brought in to educate the masses.
I'm just going to put this out there. I think that work is a terrible piece. And I think that's because, like, once you know that it's a trick, it's basically done.
Still, the public and experts rarely agreed, except one magical year.
Anila Kuyam Aga.
Intersection at the Grand Rapids Art Museum.
In 2014, Intersections won over the experts and thousands of voters, becoming the only entry to take home both the public and juried grand prize awards, a staggering $300,000 jackpot. Amid the debate, ArtPrize kept delivering. A once dying city became the art mecca of the Midwest. Crowds kept coming from further and further away. Downtown businesses planned their entire year around those 3 busy weeks. ArtPrize solidified itself as West Michigan's most consequential annual event.
The winner is...
Okay. Mariano Cortez and Chelsea Nix, The String Project.
But then it suddenly vanished. ArtPrize went biennial, replaced in 2019 with a smaller Project 1 that went largely unnoticed. The big return in 2020 called off by COVID. And then there were serious fears the decade-long fascination may be gone for good. Enter a New Year's Eve shocker.
News 8 from Wood TV.
We begin with one final big headline before the year's end. ArtPrize is coming back.
It'll be different this time around. Voting replaced with a game. Art up for auction. Questions about whether the crowds will return and keeping everybody safe. We'll all be watching, looking to see if the phenomenon can get its mojo back.
It'll be a little crazy, pretty exciting, and a ton of fun.
And now to where you will find this year's art. There are some new venues, and not all of them are downtown. Here are the numbers. There are 958 artists competing at 144 different venues. Emily Linner takes us on a tour to find the art.
Thousands thousands of people on the sidewalks and in the streets of downtown Grand Rapids. If ever there was an event that was designed to survive and possibly even thrive during a pandemic, it's ArtPrize.
Not knowing where we were going to be in the roller coaster of COVID, we made a decision to have an outdoor ArtPrize entry that would be visible 24/7.
The Grand Rapids Art Museum is doing it differently this year. These walls have hosted a number of ArtPrize winners. This year's entry, called My Dearest Friends Project, is large, outside, and the only piece the Gram is hosting this year. ArtPrize organizers are hoping while you're expanding your horizons, taking in all this new art, you'll expand your travels beyond the traditional 3-mile downtown footprint the competition has previously used.
It's definitely about activating the neighborhood and just the southeast side in general.
Monk Mateus had presented the idea of making the Center for Community Transformation an ArtPrize venue for 2020.
This side of the city, this part of the community kind of feels a little left out when it comes to ArtPrize. And this would be a great opportunity for you guys to engage and to showcase what's happening on the southeast side.
After last year's competition was canceled, it's a go this year. The center is on Madison and Cottage Grove Southeast. It's about a 10-minute drive from downtown. They will host several events open to the public during ArtPrize and display art from 23 artists. The center's community engagement specialist says when you visit, you'll notice a theme.
A lot of the pieces that you'll find at our center are really focused on the aspect, right, of mental health, COVID-19, and what kind of that did to, like, the human race.
The Center for Community Transformation isn't the only venue outside downtown. Frederick Meyer Gardens returns, alongside new satellite locations at Campow Park on the south side and the Creston neighborhood on the north side. Lions and Rabbits Center for the Arts is the hub for Creston's art community.
It's a catch-all. That's how I always say, but our mission is to just make an inclusive space for everybody and to ignite social change and economic change through arts and art education.
The venue is available to rent for public and private events, and that helps pay the bills so local artists can get paid for their work. Executive Director Hannah Berry has an entry aimed at drawing people in.
This year now, all of the murals that we put up over the last couple of years are going to be participants in ArtPrize. On top of that, we have a couple other artists that will be putting up more work, a couple installations going in, and then Lions and Rabbits / me. We're doing this board game that we created, and it's going to be on the ground. You're like the physical pawn in the game.
Many of your favorite venues are also returning. The Ford Presidential Museum and Grand Rapids Public Museum both have art on display on their lawns. The Bob is hosting more than 50 artists, with a few outside, but most inside. And DeVos Place is hosting more than 3 dozen artists, both inside the convention center and out on the Riverwalk.
When you're matched up with a venue, you try and get into one that you hope people are going to set foot in, and obviously DeVos Place is kind of the hotbed, I'd say, of ArtPrize, so a lot of people come through here.
In Grand Rapids, Emily Linnert, News 8.
And Emily mentioned inside. A quick note about COVID protocols. It's up to each venue to determine whether you need to wear a mask inside. You will need to follow those rules to be able to enter. Throughout ArtPrize, we're going to be putting the focus on the artists, including 2 primetime specials next week. Join us next Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 for Meet the Artists. Well, we realize that because of the pandemic, ArtPrize might be your first trip back downtown in a couple of months, or really even longer than that. There are some changes that you should know about, from construction to scooters. Traffic Tom is here to help.
Before you even head out the door, there are things you need to know about getting into downtown Grand Rapids for ArtPrize. Orange barrels and road closures might take you a different direction or make your trip just a little bit longer. The big projects are the closure of eastbound I-196 in downtown. It's closed at the US 131 interchange. As of now, this closure is scheduled until the end of the month. The best ways to get to downtown with the closure would be to exit early at Lake Michigan Drive and take Fulton into downtown, or jump onto southbound US 131 and get off at Pearl Street. Construction also continues on Market Street. That means the exit ramp from southbound US 131 to Market and the entrance from Market to northbound US 131 remains closed. This project is set to wrap up next week. And finally, there are single lane closures along both northbound and southbound US 131 between I-196 and Wealthy Street. That causes backups during peak travel times. Once you make it into downtown, you'll need to find a place to park. I suggest figuring this out ahead of time and having a plan. There are plenty of downtown parking garages to choose from, or you can choose to park across the river in the city surface lots near the YMCA. Those are just $2 for all-day parking. They are also on the Dash bus route, which you can hop on and off free and will take you across the river into downtown. Meters are also an option. However, there are fewer than in years past due to some of the restaurant social zones. For instance, there's hardly any parking available on Monroe Center. If you find an open meter, you can use cash or card at most meters or pay stations, or download the Motu app and pay and track your time right from your phone. Once you make it into downtown, there are a ton of new options to get around. You can ride the free Pink Dash buses or hop on the Silver Line and Laker Line buses for a small fee. You can download the Transit app to see routes and how far away the next bus is. A reminder, masks are required on buses. If you want to stay in the open air, you can rent scooters and bikes. You'll need to download the Spin app or Lime app. Just plug in your info, scan the QR code, and you're on your way. Those are not to be ridden on the sidewalks. You'll need to use the bike lanes on the streets. And if you want to stick to walking, there are 3 ArtPrize walking loops that take you within 1 block of most ArtPrize venues. We, of course, have a link to all of those apps that we've talked about online at woodtv.com.
And you may want to head downtown to check out some of these events during ArtPrize. The Bridge Run returns this Sunday with both a 5K and a 10-mile run. A new festival called Confluence will debut at Calder Plaza during the second weekend of ArtPrize. And the African American Art and Music Festival is Saturday the 25th, and that's at Studio Park. This year, more artists than ever will take home awards, and you can actually buy some of the art downtown. We're going to show you how coming up next. Matt's out on the plaza now with your forecast.
ArtPrize and weather go hand in hand. I have an excellent forecast coming up right after the break.
So welcome back to downtown Grand Rapids on the eve of ArtPrize. So there are a couple of new things this year, and especially being able to buy the art. You're going to have 2 new ways that you can support artists. First, you can give them an instant prize, and you can also buy their art in an auction.
Voting is out. Instead, you'll have the chance to award prize money directly to artists throughout the competition. When you're downtown, you'll find QR codes on ArtPrize signage. Scan a code using your phone's camera and prizes will appear. You can award those prizes to artists. Each time you scan, you have a chance to find one of nearly 500 cash prizes to award, totaling $150,000. Each prize you award also impacts an artist's chance of winning the $50,000 grand prize, which will be announced at the ArtPrize Awards. Jurors will award another $50,000 in prizes, meaning a total of $250,000 is up for grabs over the next 2.5 weeks. This new prize structure means more artists than ever will take home cash. For the first time, you can take your ArtPrize favorites home.
I love the auction option because it helps bring the idea that you can buy the art more to the forefront for people.
ArtPrize is now part competition and part auction, creating a new way for artists to take home some much-needed cash. This year, they can either put their piece up for auction or set a buy-it-now price.
And having the ability to auction or buy it now, so it's a great way for people to engage and get excited and, get the best deal they can, and the artist can make some money.
And it all happens online.
Every artist tag will have a QR code on it, and people can scan it and go right to the auction website.
That money will all go to the artists. They get 100% of the profit.
And you'll see the grand prize and juried awards revealed live exclusively here on Wood TV 8. Join us for the ArtPrize Awards. That's October 1st at 7 o'clock. ArtPrize has a new leader this year. Coming up next, he's going to join us live to talk about his vision for the future.
Okay, so we are back here on the eve of ArtPrize with a brand new executive director, Craig Sear. Great to see you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, I
Appreciate it.
know this has been months and months in planning the night before. How are you feeling?
We are so excited to reopen and revitalize this city. It's already electric down here, and we can't wait for it to start tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You know, earlier we talked about all of the changes that are taking place, talking about auctioning the art. I know that was really important, and making it more of a game rather than just voting. How do those changes come about?
Yeah, everything that we are doing here this year is all based on feedback from prior years. The artists spoke to us, the visitors spoke to us, and the venue spoke to us and said, we want some change, we want something new, we want something different. And this is what we came up with to really put money back in the pockets of artists and create exploration for visitors and really have an exciting time for everybody involved.
You know, the artists had mentioned before that their art was always for sale, but I mean, a lot of us didn't even know that. The auction's gonna be really special.
The auction's very special this year. 100% of the sale price goes to the artists themselves, which is unprecedented in the art world. Yeah. And every piece that you see that has a little QR code that's next to it on the artist label is for sale. And it'll take you right to the auction site to go ahead and bid or purchase that piece.
You know, we're back after COVID from last year. I know it had been a biennial event. What are the plans now? Will it be back again next year?
The proof will be in the pudding this year. We're very excited for this new format, for this new technology, and we're setting ourselves up for a really cool opportunity for follow-up years. So all roads lead to a potential 2022.
Okay, great. Well, Craig Sear, congratulations. Best of luck. I'm sure we'll see a lot out here on the next 3 weeks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And when we come back, Matt has the forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. We can't wait to see you back here downtown, and we hope you will stop by our Media Art Center here at the Grand Rapids Art Museum and check out our very own ArtPrize entry, canned goods in the shape of the NBC Peacock, all to raise awareness for Feeding America, which is working to ensure no one goes hungry during these difficult times. If you would like to make a donation to Feeding America of West Michigan, just scan the QR code on your screen right now or go to woodtv.com to find the link. Looks good out there, doesn't it, Matt?
It certainly does. I mean, tell you what, over a decade worth of weather of ArtPrize, and just about seeing all kinds of weather. And we have a splendid forecast heading our way to kick off the latest ArtPrize of 2021. Here's a live view Grand Rapids. ArtPrize officially kicks off tomorrow, and check this forecast out. Temperature 80 degrees for a high. Generally sunny skies most of the day. Friday, you may see just a few clouds coming in towards the end of the day. Any showers should hold off, it looks like, until the overnight period, probably after sunset on Friday. And then opening up the door to a beautiful weekend, maybe a couple showers early Saturday, but not likely. And you can see that forecast as temperatures very warm right on through the stretch. Here's what we're looking at in terms of high temperatures every single day except one. High temperatures 80 degrees or warmer, and the extended outlook has temperatures actually above average to push us right through the month of September. And a combo, warm temperatures and dry conditions. That is ideal, Michelle, especially considering, you know, just how many, half the art is outside. Yes. So it's such an important thing, having nice weather, and so people can enjoy and just check things out. Yes. So it looks like we certainly have that.
Yeah, we've really lucked out. And like you said, I mean, over the years, there's been a little bit of everything. So this is very, very nice.
This is excellent. Yeah. Really can't get much nicer.
Yes. All right, ArtPrize starts tomorrow at noon, everybody. Our newscast each day from noon till 7 will be live here at the Media Art Center as our city comes back to life for the return of ArtPrize. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you tonight on News 8 at 10 and 11.